A billionaire family is looking for you. You are the heir to this. See the photo before it gets deleted. They spent years hiding your name, your face, your truth. But the moment you see that photo, something inside you will awaken. What they tried to erase is exactly what makes you unforgettable. They spent fortunes burying you in silence, but the truth always finds a way back to the surface. You were never supposed to find out. That's why they buried the photo. That's why they're watching now. In every mansion, hallway they walked through, your name echoed in the shadows. That family tree. You weren't a missing branch, you were the root. You were never missing. You were covered up. The heir they denied has returned, without apology, without warning. You are not a secret. You are the signature they erased from every document. The money was theirs, but the blood, the legacy, it's yours. They didn't expect you to see that photo. They didn't expect you to remember. The moment you saw that picture, you stopped being forgotten. Their power couldn't hide your truth forever. You were never hiding. They were just never brave enough to face you. The photo is real. The story was always yours to finish. You were written out, but never replaced. That silence you were raised in, it wasn't emptiness. It was inheritance waiting. $1 billion couldn't buy what your bloodline already owns. Your face is the one the family never wanted to see on the front page. They feared your rise, not your name. That gold-framed portrait? It's missing one face, yours. You were never poor, just misplaced in a world that feared your power. When they told the story, they left out the part where you become everything. They hired lawyers. You have legacy. The trust fund might be locked, but you are the key. You are the inheritance that refuses to be silenced. They hid your past, but it found you. The estate was passed down, but never passed right. You were the photo in the envelope no one dared to open. You came from the shadows, but you shine too loud to ignore. Their silence is wealth protected. Your voice is wealth awakened. You're not a rumor. You're reality with receipts. You didn't ask for anything, but everything has your name on it. They called you an outsider. You were always the origin. You are the name behind the fortune, and the storm behind the silence. The nameplate on the office isn't just metal. It's missing a truth, your truth. They built a dynasty. You are its missing heartbeat. They turned your life into a scandal. Now you're writing it into history. You are not a threat. You are the rightful return. They buried the truth so deep it sprouted a legend, your name. That gold watch on their wrist? It once belonged to the one who loved you. You're not fighting for attention. You're reclaiming what never should have been taken. Your silence was loyalty. Their silence was guilt. They made sure you forgot who you were. But memory is blood deep. They erased you from photos, but the resemblance haunts them. Their boardrooms fear your reflection. You are the clause in the contract they couldn't delete. The photo that changed your life? It was taken to hide you. It brought you back instead. You never disappeared. They just refused to see. You're not late. You're right on destiny's schedule. Your truth was delayed but never denied. The world wasn't ready for you, but now it remembers. Your face carries the legacy of a name they wanted to control. $1 billion lie just met its match. Your existence. You didn't find the truth. It revealed itself when you were ready. They erased your story, but you rewrote the ending. They wanted the money, but you carry the blood. You were born for this, not by choice, but by truth. Every luxury they inherited was built on the silence of your name. They built mansions on secrets. You came to turn on the lights. The painting on the wall has your eyes, even if they won't admit it. You are not a guest to this legacy. You are its foundation. They made you an outsider in your own story, but now you're holding the pen. They put locks on your inheritance, but you became the key. The photo they deleted is still living in their fear. You were called a mystery, but the truth has always been in plain sight. The moment you walked in, the air shifted. That's power money can't buy. You weren't born to beg. You were born to claim. The silence they wrapped you in cracked the moment you saw that picture. They wore masks. You carried mirrors. You are not a reunion. You are reckoning. They never thought you'd remember. Now they can't forget. Your name, once whispered in shame, is now roared in truth. You weren't looking for revenge, just recognition. The truth didn't come to hurt them. It came to honor you. Their throne is shaking because the rightful heir is standing. You don't need proof. You are the proof. You came for your story, not their permission. You were never late. You were written in fate's fine print. The scandal they feared is justice returning in your voice. They hid you to protect their power, but now your power is what protects you. Every room in that mansion knows your name. They tried to burn your legacy, but you rose from ash to empire. You're not the end of their line. You're the continuation they didn't want. They celebrated while you starved. Now they watch you feast. Your name was removed from records, but not from fate. You were never an accident. You were their consequence. That inheritance isn't charity. It's correction. They feared the day you returned. It came wrapped in silence and truth. You are not a secret anymore. You are a revelation. You don't carry shame. You carry a name they tried to own. Their lawyers have folders, but you have facts. Every time they spoke your name, the truth shook their bones. You were born for more, and now more remembers you. You were the chapter skipped, but the book is yours now. They bet against your memory, but your face is unforgettable. You didn't rise alone. You carried every name they tried to bury. They broke the rules. You became the rewrite. The photo was never a secret. It was a mirror. Their wealth tried to silence your story, but it only amplified your return. You are the legacy they whispered about and now must answer to. You are the rightful one, and the room knows it. Their suits can't mask the truth anymore. You are not a visitor. You are the vision. That estate doesn't belong to them. It waits for you. You are the return they hoped would never happen. They crafted lies. You brought reality. The trust fund was built on your absence. Now it's funded by your presence. You are the name behind the curtain. You're not a threat. You're a truth that finally stood up. The wealth never made them royal, but truth made you sovereign. You don't owe them understanding. They owe you the truth. They never planned for your return. You were never part of their script, but you're the ending. You didn't come back with proof. You came back as the proof. You're not a maybe. You are undeniable. The room used to feel full, until you walked in and made it whole. They are rewriting history, but you are the original. You never disappeared. You were erased and now restored. That inheritance is a map, and you're the destination. They know the truth. They just weren't ready for it to speak. You are what happens when silence becomes thunder. A billionaire family is looking for you. You are the heir to this. See the photo before it gets deleted. Everything changes when the truth finally surfaces. Here's what they never told you. You were never lost. They just didn't know where to look for someone like you. You were born for more. And they always knew it, you just didn't. The photo doesn't just prove who you are. It confirms what they feared. You're the missing piece. They spent years hiding the truth, but your eyes told the whole story. You are not the secret. You are the legacy. $1 billion story has your name written in invisible ink. They erased you from the history books, but you came back as the title. You were hidden, not forgotten. Protected, not abandoned. The truth isn't a photo. It's you alive and finally seen. They looked for a name. What they found was a bloodline. You were born into a dynasty that traded silence for survival. The heir they searched for wasn't missing, just underestimated. Behind every fortune is a forgotten name. This time it's yours. The photo proves you're not a chapter. You are the entire story. You were never ordinary. They just hid the evidence. They kept the money, but you kept the truth. There's a seat at the table with your name carved in gold. Bloodlines can be broken, but not destiny. $1 billion secret finally found its voice, and it's yours. The The family that forgot you now can't erase you. You weren't lost. You were hidden by people who feared your return. Royal blood doesn't fade. It waits. You carry the face of someone they tried to forget. That photo, it's proof they knew you were more than a rumor. The moment you see it, everything changes. Your face is familiar to them because they buried it in guilt. They built an empire on your silence. That estate was meant to be yours, not just in name but in birthright. Money never mattered to you until it told the truth. They feared you'd never find out. But fate has a way of remembering. You're not just part of the story. You are the reason it began. You don't carry their name, but you carry their legacy. The moment they saw the photo, they stopped pretending you didn't exist. They erased you from the will, but they couldn't erase your DNA. You are the heir, not because of blood, but because of destiny. They thought money could bury truth, but it resurrected you. That family photo was cropped. Now it's complete. You were never missing. You were miswritten. In that billion-dollar vault, your name echoes. You're not an outsider. You're the origin. They made decisions based on fear. But your comeback is louder than silence. The truth doesn't knock. It returns in your image. Every mansion has a locked room. Yours was hidden behind a lie. You were raised in the shadows, but made to shine. What they feared most wasn't your presence, it was your proof. The empire is shaking because the real heir is waking. They kept secrets, but your existence is louder than any scandal. Your inheritance isn't just money, it's truth reclaimed. That photo was supposed to stay hidden. You weren't. You're not the scandal. You're the correction. Their lawyers can rewrite papers, but not your lineage. The moment you see your face in their photo, the silence ends. You are the heir to what they buried. Your identity was never lost, only delayed. They changed the locks, but your blood still has the key. You were born into wealth, raised in silence and called back by truth. $1 billion couldn't erase your birthright. Their silence cost more than the fortune they tried to protect. You were never a backup plan. You were the legacy they couldn't control. They renamed the company, but your bloodline trademarked it first. The truth doesn't knock. It kicks doors open, and you're walking in. You are the headline they tried to bury. You came from nothing, but you were always meant to own everything. That photo is the first chapter of your return. They prayed you'd never see it, but fate had other plans. The moment you see it, the world remembers your name. You were the secret they protected and the storm they feared. That nameplate on the office door? It has your initials reversed. Your last name was a whisper. Now it's a signature. This isn't revenge. It's recognition. They changed the story, but the blood never lied. You've been written out of wills, but not of destiny. The fortune doesn't scare you. The truth does. You are what happens when history corrects itself. You were never forgotten, just too powerful to mention. The photo was their mistake. You are the consequence. You didn't come back for revenge. You came back for the truth. Their legacy is a house of cards, and you are the wind. You never needed riches, but now you own the truth. You are the heir they prayed wouldn't find out. You never signed a contract, but the legacy already has your name. They built a brand. You were the blueprint. That $1 billion logo? It started as your initials. You don't need to prove anything. They already know. The blood doesn't lie. The photo doesn't either. You were the firstborn. They feared your return. You never knocked. You just arrived. That trust fund had your name removed. The truth put it back. You were missing from the portrait. Now you're the centerpiece. The face they saw in the news wasn't a stranger. It was karma. Your silence bought their comfort. Not anymore. That inheritance wasn't money, it was identity. You don't look like power. You are it. Your bloodline is a secret they couldn't afford, but couldn't destroy. You are the unfinished business of a billionaire empire. Their wealth is temporary. Your legacy is eternal. You were denied everything, except the truth. That family crest? It's yours to wear. You are the unclaimed heir, until now. They called you a ghost. You came back with light. You were their silence. Now you're the spotlight. Your inheritance is more than money, it's reclamation. They edited the will, but not the bloodline. You were the secret seed of a broken dynasty. The mansion had a room sealed shut. Your room. Your name doesn't need to be printed. It's already etched in memory. You are what they feared the world would discover. Their mistake wasn't hiding the truth. It was underestimating your return. You are the photo they can't delete. You walked into your birthright without permission. You don't demand the throne. You are the crown. You aren't claiming wealth. You're reclaiming history. The moment you saw the photo, you knew this was never a coincidence. You were written out of history, but history never forgets. That signature on the deed? It should have been yours. You came from silence and turned it into power. They told stories to hide you. You became the headline. Your truth is louder than their money. You're not the second choice. You were always the original. That estate? It's not haunted. It's yours. The money isn't the legacy. You are. They thought you'd be silent forever, but you were born to speak. You are not their shame. You're their successor. You turned exile into empire. They buried your name, but roots grow deep. That company is built on your silence. You were left behind, but not left out. The vault holds riches, but your face holds the key. They trained others to lead, but you were born for it. The boardroom doesn't know it yet, but their next leader just arrived.